Yep. Oh god, he's throwing it. Oh, oh, no. Cheers, man. Thank you. Got a brewski. Lenzerheide was in many riders' opinions the best track of the year. It had an excellent mix of tech sections, some flat outs, some big jumps, and everyone had a smile on their face at the end of the day. Except the people that had to ride that mud chute on day one. They weren't smiling. Oh, oh no. But once it dried up, that section was riding amazing. Talking of conditions, the big theme of the day was the cloud. I mean, it was kind of hard not to see it. I mean, you have seen it, haven't you? If you've not watched the live feed yet, get out here, go watch that, then come back, then we can get talking. I almost gave away the race. Jeez. Anyway, during the women's race, you would have no doubt seen the cloud cover. The visibility was poverty. You could not see a thing. I was up there filming during the practice and I could barely get any footage. It was like the visibility was so bad. So that obviously affected things for the women's race. And that cloud, it stayed there, it settled in and didn't clear until the top 25 men. And unfortunately, that does mean it was a little bit easier for the men at the end of the day, but can't be helped. But it's a shame nonetheless. What's not a shame is Vali Holl's return to the top step of the podium. Almost 30 seconds to her closest rival in second place is a bloody violent display. And I know she hates it when people do this, but she did beat the elite women. And look, I know conditions are different. There was near zero visibility for the elite women's up the top. It was wetter for the juniors. You cannot compare. So let's just chalk it up to being very interesting, and we'll see what happens next year when she moves up to elite. In the junior men, Seth Sherlock has been on a steady upward curve all season. He's finished 10th, 6th, 3rd, 6th again, and then finally first place here in Lenzerheide. Very impressive, and the Canadian national champ will no doubt be confident heading into World Champs, which is in Canada, a home race at World Champs, and he's on form. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. First woman to lay down a stormer in the elite women's category was Switzerland's own Emily Siegenthaler. She was desperate to lay down a result in her home race, and she did with a 3rd place. And in an interesting contrast to the last one, she came down, went into first. Her partner Camille came over, congratulated her for getting 3rd, which Emily did last weekend when Camille got 3rd. But then this weekend, Camille also finished 5th. And last weekend, Emily also finished 5th. Lots of parallels here, very confusing, but they both got on the podium. And they're definitely downhill's power couple. Nina Hoffman is on a mission this year. You can see her pushing super hard on track, sometimes too hard. And today was one of those situations. She was giving it some, making little mistakes, losing time, but she was still on for 3rd. Her split said she was on for 3rd place. And then she got a little off balance, on and off camber, washed out the front wheel, and then just got unceremoniously slapped onto the road. Looked violent, but she was fine. Just give her time. Once she's figured out her racecraft, we'll be seeing a lot more of her. Last weekend, Tracy Hanna was racing for the series. She was being a bit more cautious, but this weekend, she was angry. She wanted that win, and we could see that by her splits. And then actually, she was in front at the splits. It looked like she was going to take the win. But then at the Mitas wall, we saw how fast Marine was yesterday on the Inside the Tape video, and she lost a lot of time just in that one section. And that was it. Marine won it on that section. Tracy had to settle for 2nd. But we've got more races this year, so Tracy's got time to claim that win again. Marine Cabirou came into this weekend in what must have been a confidence high after demolishing the field in Val di Sole. She put together a very nice run with one big mistake that we saw. Just before the plunge, there's a small cluster of off camber, very shiny and stubbornly wet rocks right in your braking zone. If you even look at your brakes anywhere near them, you were slipping out and into some serious bother. This happened to Marine. She lost her front. She was heading off track. She had to make a split-second decision. She went for the chicken line and just kept it going. If she'd hesitated there, she wouldn't have won. But she didn't hesitate, and she did win. Very good result for her. I'm sure she's absolutely buzzing to get her 2nd win in a row. I had to go and have a chat with her about it. Hey. Yeah, that looks better. 2 in a row. Was that to be expected? Were you thinking it was possible, or is it a surprise?
I'm a little bit surprised because this track is not really my favorite type of track. It's really hard to ride all the weekend with a different weather and everything. But I'm just so happy.
We saw you made one mistake, big mistake. You missed the plunge in your run. Had you ever been that way before?
Oh no, I have never been this way. I just slip in front of the plane and and I go in the other way, but
Yeah. Did you have any other incidents in the run, or was it okay?
yeah, on the last rock garden I go full inside and I have never take this one too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, in practice I saw you doing the wide line and you were
Yeah.
getting that good, but you wanted to go that way.
Yeah, I go every time on the outside and I just sleep on the big rock just after and and I just push on the other line and it's just crazy. I don't think I can take the win with a run like that, but I'm just so happy.
Well, good. So congrats, and we'll see you in World Champs.
Yeah, thank you so much. See you in World Champ.
Cool. In the men's category, we started off with Thomas's stack on track, and what a rude awakening that was. Less than 5 seconds out the gate, and wham, he was on his face. It was a really weird crash, and I'm guessing the cloud cover had a part to play in it. But Brendan Fairclough also crashed there yesterday in qualifying, and that's why he didn't qualify. Except for him, it was more the loose, dusty conditions. Seems like a strange place to crash, but it is a really tricky corner to get right. Big man Florent Pay was on fire this weekend. Granted, he did have slightly better vision up the top than the people before him, but it wasn't even the top section that he excelled. Between splits 2 and 3, he pulled some major time. On the entrance to that steep woods, he took a line I didn't see anyone else taking. He went in super high above a row of trees and then dove down the inside. You can see from the camera looking up, he comes into all out of shape and drifting sideways because he's been on that high off camber line. Clearly worked for him though, claimed a lot of time, missioned it down to the finish, and he got his best ever result this year with 10th place. I thought Brooke McDonald was going to be on an absolute stormer this weekend. All through practice, he has been crushing it, going so fast. But on his race run, he suffered from the same issue as Nina Hoffman, pushed a little bit too hard, made lots of little mistakes, lost time in a few critical bits, and 16th is good. It is a good result. But we know Brooke wants more. Something I was obviously stoked to see was my compatriot Reece Wilson sneaking back into the top 10 with a 9th place this weekend. Interestingly enough, he was suffering from a pretty horrendous cold all weekend, and that might be why he dropped back from 6th at the splits to 9th. Lucas shot blew me away when he went across those tricky routes just after the big step up in the open. He got it so clean, so fast. I was seriously impressed. Until Laurie Greenland came down just after him and got it even better. Tune into my personal channel tomorrow for a closer look at that crucial section. Also, really good to see that Laurie didn't get fazed by the fact he fell over right in front of the Red Bull camera in the gondola hall while he was warming up at the top. Solid run, 6th place for him. He'll be stoked. Dean Lucas is getting all his crap in a pile this season. Seems that now his man peaches have all healed up after an incident earlier in the year. He's really attacking. Few mistakes on his run, but he still got 7th. I think Dean's in with a good shout of a podium by the end of the year. Finn Iles had everyone flinching on his run. First he punched a pad on a tree, which gave him a big wobble and he nearly went off the track. And then he got to Petey's plank, or what used to be Petey's plank, and he was just like, yeah, I don't like it, and just rode off the side. Really strange incident. I went to go and ask him what the heck was going on.
Tray flip over the cables, baby.
Where exactly were you going on the plank?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I'd like to say I was trying to ride it like a skinny on the edge, you know, like pop a foot off like Canadian free ride, but I just hit the corner and I got stood up, and my weight, I was like, just the speed I was carrying, like when I hit it, I couldn't really pull it back.
I mean, was that a big drop? Like, we couldn't actually see it on the live feed. But
Yeah. Oh, when I dropped off the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably 5 feet. And then I like landed and like hit a pole and kind of stopped and then ran back onto the track.
I'm actually surprised that hasn't happened to anyone before that I can remember, because every year you see people hitting that bridge and they're just on the edge.
Well, happened to me this year.
Yeah,
Seemed to have
he's pioneered it.
I seem to have all the bad luck on my side this year, so hopefully it is all gone and World Champs will be a right one.
Yeah, bad luck. You've run out, so now it's just good luck
I hope
for
so.
here on
I
out.
really hope so.
Yeah, well, good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
I thought, along with many others, I'm sure some of you are watching right now, that Danny Hart was on for an absolute blinder this weekend. First in qualifying, he's won here in the past, and he's riding really fast and consistent this season. I mean, you can forgive us for thinking that he could have won this one. He had an excellent run, and 5th place is amazing, but I know there's more there, and Danny knows it too. I'm really excited to see if he can just find that few extra percent and get his first win this year. From one consistent man to another, Troy Brosnan didn't seem to put a foot wrong at this race. It super impresses on tracks like this that they can put together runs where it look immaculate. And he was the only rider in the top 20 on smaller wheels. Most riders have got some form of 29-inch wheel in there somewhere. Third place has kept him in the points contention though, so all he needs now is for Loic to get abducted by aliens and Amaury to get detained at US Customs. And then the series is his. Bruni's playing a very smart game. He took some big risks earlier in the year, claimed some good wins, got himself a points lead, and now he's just riding that lead to the finish of this series. What I'm really interested about is, in years past, Bruni has not done as well in the series and then focused all his attention on World Champs. But this year, he is doing well in the series. So does that mean he's going to take it easy at World Champs? Focus on the series? I don't know. We'll have to see what happens in Mont Saint Anne. Greg Minnaert is just refusing to slow down. He absolutely tore that lower section of the hill a new one, claiming massive time back on Pierron. I particularly liked his high line at the exit of the Maitas wall. Went super wide, inside of the turn, and then manual through the compression on the exit. That was a delightful move. He kept that pace going down the final parts of the track, and he was the smoothest man off that last step down, and he claimed second place for the second time this year. You could see he was disappointed not to go into first in the finish area, but it is so hard to be an on-form Pierron. And on-form Amaury was. He was giving it some. He was railing turns, sticking in extra pedal strokes to top up his speed where others were cruising. When he was pedaling out of turns, he looked so aggressive. It was a hungry run. And how about his pumping on that curvy wooden bridge step down? I don't think I've seen that kind of range of movement in a rider before. He was like fully squashed, fully stood up, soaked it up and off the end. I had to watch that like 3 times. One big mistake on the exit of the Maitas Woods did cost him a bit of time. It didn't matter. He had enough milliseconds in the back pocket, he could just scatter them about as he pleased. Solid win for the Frenchman. I had to go and have a little chat with him. On your race run, one thing that I find you look very different to everyone else is when you're pedaling, when you're on a good run. You are pedaling and you're like this, you're like, oh. Your head is like over here, and like, did you feel like you were really attacking today? Because it looked like it.
It's short track, so pedal extension can be an advantage, so just try to give everything on these sections, and I felt good. The atmosphere, like the people, and I heard a bit the speakers.
Yeah.
The atmosphere was good, I felt it good, so that helped me just to push it more. Like,
But you had one big mistake. Well, what happened there?
the Mitas wall.
Yeah.
I did so much shit, like I jumped before landing on the pole.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? The beep beep days. Maybe I was.
Whoa! I got some. I got some.
Then I was so slow in the rock garden, then I almost go out of the track.
Yeah.
Keep it pushing to the end, and that was enough to win. So
Overall, it's looking a little bit better now. You're kind of within touching distance almost.
I have to win, and you have to do fourth. So
Yeah.
this is big. This is big. But I like to play, and the game is not over.
Cool. Well, you go inside and get warm because you're freezing, and we'll see you at World Champs.
See you in World Champs.
Cool. Yes, boss. That's going to do it for myself, Ben Cathro, and Pinkbike here in Lenzerheide. We'll see you again in World Champs, the big event of the year, Mont Saint Anne, Canada. Better go and book my flights, actually. Yeah, I'll go and get that sorted. We'll see you there.